Welcome to the Digital Dream Not the Ground podcast. It is a beautiful Monday before Thanksgiving. Obviously, Niners are on deck tonight to take on the Carolina Panthers at home. Niners basically, what I'm expecting for today is, like Kyle said, it should be a tough game. Obviously Bryce Young, I believe had a career game last week against the Falcons. He threw for I believe 450 yards and three touchdowns. The Panthers are now 6-5 on the year, neck and neck with the Bucks now for the NFC South division. So essentially now, what we're gonna get is, basically a chippy battle. Niners obviously decimated on the defensive front. Obviously, Niners are trying to keep pace with the Seahawks, trying to keep pace with the Rams, which I don't think seems very likely at this point with how the Rams have been playing, up to the season so far. So now basically, as we kind of, look into it, it's going to basically be the Niners trying to basically, I guess, compete with Seattle or whoever in the NFC for a wild card spot, whether it's Green Bay, Detroit, what have you, right? And, obviously the Niners' short path in, heading into the playoffs or heading into this latter half of the season is the fact that they're going to have to basically wrap up these last three games, these next three games, Carolina, and Cleveland, and who's the last team? Sorry, guys. Carolina. Let's see. Yeah, Carolina, Cleveland, and Tennessee. The last three games of the year are basically the easiest three-game stretch for any team. You're basically going into the postseason, but then closing out the year, you have the Bears. The Colts, the Bears, and the Seahawks, which is actually the toughest strength of schedule for any team closing out the year. So kind of interesting paradigm, right? For the Niners, they have an opportunity to basically rack up wins, get to 10 wins, potentially 11. But obviously, if they can take care of business next three, get a nice little win streak going heading into mid-December, basically win 10 games and get to a position where the Niners can actually feel a little bit more confident. Obviously they're not going to be getting any of the horses back. Bosa, Warner, they're both out with ACL tears. Michael Williams also going to be out, so they're going to have to continue kind of man the ship with the young guns. But I'm definitely interested to see how well Brock plays tonight. I'm very definitely interested to see how well the defense plays tonight. Really against secondary, who basically they looked okay last week, I want to say. They did allow a lot of big passing plays. So, obviously, I think Carolina's a little bit better of an opponent than Arizona. So we're gonna have to see how Upton Stout and how Bernardo Green, how the secondary looks, heading into basically heading into Monday Night Football. So with that said, I'm probably going to predict the Niners to win this game. I'm picking the Niners to probably win, probably closer than most people think, probably maybe 27-24 or somewhere around there. I'm expecting like a chippy, kind of battle back and forth. And they'll probably win by like a field goal or like a touchdown, like a one-score game. And then that should help them, heading into next week when they have to go on the road to play Cleveland and then following that up with another road game against Tennessee. And I believe then they have to go on the road to play Indianapolis, if I'm not mistaken, or is that a home game? Let me just check the schedule one more time. Yeah, they have to go on. They basically have a three-game. They actually have a one-game road stretch against the Browns. Come back to play the Titans on the 14th of December. Actually, yeah. So after next week, it's going to be their bye week, and essentially then after the bye week, then they basically play the Titans on the 14th, and then they play the Colts at Indianapolis, and then they come back to play the Bears and the Seahawks to close out this year at home. So basically, if I'm not, let me do the math again. So one, two, three, four games at home, two on the road. So pretty nice home stretch for the Niners. So once again, we'll see kind of how it shapes out. But I'm hoping for the Niners to kind of rack up some wins and I mean and obviously success for the Niners is defined by probably just making it to the postseason and probably stealing a game here and there. Not really expecting them to do much beyond that, to be honest. So we'll kind of see what happens from that point. And then let's see. Heading into, I guess I also want to talk about Thanksgiving matchups, right? Obviously, the Chiefs won yesterday by a field goal. They played Dallas, who also won yesterday. So that's the matchup I'm looking for on Thanksgiving. I think Kansas City, they look good. But my heart, I really want Dallas to win at home. So I mean, you know, if I had to choose, obviously the Chiefs on paper, but the Dallas Cowboys defense and that special teams unit, the way they played so inspired yesterday to come back down 21-0, they definitely look like they have an opportunity, to basically, hopefully, pull off an upset against, obviously the dynasty of the decade up to this point, the Chiefs. Obviously the Chiefs, if that defense plays like they did, all four quarters, then it'll be tough sledding for the Cowboys. But if the Cowboys play like they did that second half, then it'll be a great game, one way or the other. And so I think with that said, I am looking forward to hopefully a very chippy matchup. And it looks like my co-host will be joining me here in a minute. But I'm looking forward to a chippy matchup between the Cowboys, the Chiefs, to basically, kind of, really round things out from Thanksgiving matchup days on Thanksgiving, and then kind of, piggybacking off that, obviously the if I look at all the rest of the games on Thanksgiving, you have the Lions of the Packers, you have the Ravens of the Bengals. I mean, Lions and Packers are probably a wild card, a nice, well, NFC North implications, but now I'm going to let my co-host chime in here, who has just joined us from Chicago, Cortez Branch Jr., number 24. So, Mr. Cortez Branch, we just talked about the Niners. We just previewed Niners, Niners and Panthers and the rest of the stretch. Obviously, I am going with the Niners winning 27-24 tonight at Levi's to round out, this last week. Do you have any thoughts to add to that besides,
I'm going to say Niners too.
yeah. And then kind of one thing I also wanted to what I touched upon was basically Niners have the next 4 out of 6 games at home. The next two games are next one game is on the road against Cleveland after tonight, and then they come back home and they play Tennessee. They have a very good chance of winning the next 3 games, which will basically get them to 10 wins. They have the next 3 games for the Niners are the easiest strength of schedule for any team in the NFL. And then the last 2 games for the Niners are the toughest strength of schedule for any team in the NFL. Which obviously the next 3, like I said, this one, the Panthers, next one, the Browns, and after that the Titans, following that up with the Colts at Indy. Then you got, y'all Bears coming to town, right? On Christmas, and then you have the Seahawks at home to round out the year. So last 3 are going to be tough, but the next 3, the Niners have a really good shot to basically rack up wins, get to double-digit wins, and basically kind of have some cushion heading into mid-December, late December, heading into January, and to kind of kind of lock up one of those like wildcard spots. Because of how the Rams played yesterday, I'm not seeing any team. I'm really not seeing. I mean, honestly, how the Rams played yesterday, I'm not seeing any team in the NFC. I'm not seeing any team in the NFC, upstage or upclass the Rams the way if the way the Rams have been playing all year.
No, the
It's just
Rams are too good.
Rams are clicking on
Yeah,
all
last night was
cylinders.
a good example of that.
Really, Devontae Adams has been kind of this kind of quiet X factor for them. He doesn't have the receiving yards, but he has the TDs. I think he already has 11
He has
touchdowns.
touchdowns. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
he
then you
picks
have
up
Puka's
touchdowns like
back, but then you
nobody's
also
business.
have the defense, who has been basically the kind of the story. I mean, just that pass rush with Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk. I mean, you have the secondary with Carnell Lake and all them boys. I mean, or Carnell Lake's son, I forgot his name, the last name Lake. And then obviously, I mean, they basically have a phenomenal squad. And so. I mean, I just think, yeah. I mean, it's looking like an LA kind of year this year. Granted, the AFC or no one else, NFC has anything to say about it.
Yeah,
Right before you
there's
joined,
not a lot you can do about them.
right before you joined, I previewed the Chiefs Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Basically, what I saw yesterday with the Chiefs, you know, playing like, not good and then coming back in the second half and the defense kind of coming alive. And then Chiefs kind of, coming alive in the fourth quarter and then winning in overtime. But the Cowboys did the exact same thing to Philadelphia. They basically started off the
Yeah,
game 20 down 21, and then they came back and then they won in regulation, not even overtime, against the defending world champs at home. The Chiefs had to go on the road. I'm predicting, I mean, I think the Chiefs are favored. I think the Cowboys have a chance, a legitimate chance. If they play like they did yesterday, the special teams and the defense were basically monstrous in that second half of the Cowboys, right? I
yeah,
mean,
they
the boys were
definitely were.
hitting them, but the forward. I mean, did you see the special teams like when they? I don't know what the return was, but on the punt where they tackled the dude and the ball came out and then they recovered it. I mean
Yeah,
that.
I
I
saw
mean,
that.
if they play like and then the sack at the end on Jalen Hurts, if they play like that against KC, I mean, the Cowboys could find a way to squeak out this win. And then we'll talk about the Cowboys being a potential playoff, dark horse threat at 6-5. What do you predict for that game heading into Thanksgiving?
Well, I mean, for the Cowboys game, I mean, it's kind of a toss up because you really don't know which Cowboys you're going to get every week.
Mhm.
And it's that's probably the hardest part, especially like if you I don't know if you do any of the fan duels or anything like that, but anytime that you're doing any of those things and you're watching the trends with the players and you start to see what the players are good at and what they're not good at and when they're doing things and when they're not doing things, it's kind of a toss up. It's really hard to bet on the Cowboys.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's really, and so the thing is, the reason why is because the Chiefs have not looked good all year. The
No,
Cowboys have
they
also
haven't.
been. I mean, you basically have two Jekyll and Hyde teams. Based on yesterday,
Yeah.
though, both teams have shown you if they play like they did yesterday. I mean, both either team can win this game, right? And so I'm looking forward to this. Is prime time TV.
I mean, they put a stop to a nasty Indianapolis offense and limited them to 20 points. So that's that's a victory in itself. But I'll put it this way. If the Kansas City Chiefs are going to play Indianapolis again, I don't know if it'd be the same outcome, especially if Indianapolis was at home.
Well, and here's the thing. You talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles, right? Same exact thing, right? The Eagles offense didn't do shit, but that defense was no joke heading into
That
yesterday.
was no
And the
joke.
Cowboys put up 24 unanswered points in the second half against the Super Bowl the reigning defending Super Bowl champion defense on the Eagles, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I mean, but then really, I mean, just that smash mouth defense of the Cowboys, just just hitting boys and getting after the ball, and the special teams unit just doing that. I mean, that made me come alive, because it brought me back to when I used to play. And obviously, like you come
Yeah.
on punt return, you come on kickoff, you come on punt block, and you're basically trying to I mean, hit a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Or like
That's the only thing that you
block a
can
dude.
do in that point, to be
Exactly. And
honest.
so I mean that's the type of shit that I look for. So I mean, anyways, yeah, I mean that's the game I'm looking forward to for Thanksgiving. That's my game I'm to watch because that's I mean, you got America's team, you got the Chiefs. I mean, you got Taylor Swift's gonna be in the audience. I mean, it'd be great if she did a halftime show, which is probably not, but that'd be great.
No,
But
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Bad Bunny's gonna share the spotlight. Like he might have like other Latin artists, but I think especially because of everything that's been going on culturally here,
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna share the spotlight.
So let me actually look at the odds real quick. So the Chiefs are favored to win by 62.2%, but the Cowboys are favored to win by 37.8. So I mean, really it's like 60-40. It's the odds are not that high, so I mean it could go either way. Let's
Yeah, it's
talk about now
legitimately
the
60-40.
yeah,
That's what I
60-40.
would say.
So say again?
I would say 60-40.
Well, it is 60-40. So I mean that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm picking the underdog. And sorry, who are you picking?
I
Cowboys
mean, if I
Chiefs.
was gonna go Chiefs versus Cowboys, as much as I don't like the Cowboys, I gotta pick the Cowboys.
Got to. So what's your final score?
I think it's gonna be a low scoring affair. I'm gonna say 21-24.
21-24, my man. Okay, let's go move on to your neck of the woods, the NFC North. Kicking us off on Thanksgiving, we're going to reverse order, but we're talking about the Packers at the Lions. Packers are 7-3, Lions are 7-4 at home. Lions are favorite to win, 60-40. Same thing, 59.3% for literally 60-40.
I think that might be a higher scoring game, but it's still gonna be the same result. I think the
Well,
Lions
here's the
win.
thing. When you saw Lions and Packers when they kicked off this year, the Lions were not in rhythm at all. And the Lions, I mean, they
Nope.
actually won yesterday in overtime against the Giants at home. And
They
then
didn't deserve to win that game either.
yeah, and the thing is, I mean, when they played the Eagles last week on Sunday Night Football, that they had many opportunities in that game. They I don't know how they lost that game, but then before that, they beat the Lions.
What's
Then
going
they
on
lost
here?
to the Vikings. I mean, they've been really up and down. Like, I mean, they beat the Bucks on Monday night. They lost to the Chiefs. So if I were to go from like literally the last like 7 weeks, let me just read this to you guys. So Lions win over Bengals, lose to Chiefs, win over Bucks, lose to Vikings, win over Commanders, lose lose to the Eagles, win over the Giants. I mean, I guess they're on schedule for a loss based on this kind of trend, right? Because it's been win loss every single week. So with that said, I mean and the Packers, I mean, they've been kind of up and down too, here and there. Obviously, I mean, they did win. They did beat they did beat the Vikings. I mean, it's the Vikings though. They played the Giants. I mean, they won by a 2 touchdown. They lost to the Eagles on Monday night. They lost to the Panthers. I mean, so I mean, they haven't really looked that impressive either, to be honest. So I really think it can go either way. I'm just gonna go with the home team. I'm taking the Lions to break their trend of kind of win losses. But again, it could go either way. It's gonna be a very close game. I mean, I'm gonna probably do the same kind of prediction like you did. High scoring, maybe like 38-35, something like that. But it's gonna be decided by like a field goal or less. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a field goal or less. I really do. I think it's going to be a very close scoring game. I think that the that if I think if the Eagles are not the Eagles, sorry about that. If Detroit's going to win this game, they're going to have to stop Green Bay's running.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, like
And
if they can
man, this,
stop Josh Jacobs, they'll win the game.
yes,
If they can
sir.
slow him down or even limit him, they'll win the game.
Bengals at Ravens. Ravens are favored. I'm not even interested in this game. I don't know if Joe Burrow's playing. I know Joe Flacco's played yesterday. And if Joe Burrow's not playing, I mean, the Bengals aren't a good team. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about this game. I'm just going to go with the. All right, my man joined us for the main event on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. The Eagles are on the road in Soldier Field against the Chicago Bears. This is actually the two best records in the NFC right now, besides the Rams, the Eagles and the Bears. 8-3 and 8-3. Cortez Branch Jr., talk to me about what you're expecting for when the Super Bowl champions come into your house. What are you looking forward to in this game, and what are your predictions?
Well, there's a couple of things here that are not very good for Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
especially if the Bears are playing at a home game.
Uh-huh. Let's talk.
So, I mean, Philly's no stranger to playing in cold weather. That's not the issue. I think the issue more so is the fact that Philly hasn't had a whole lot of passing going on, whereas Chicago doesn't care. They throw the football, they run the football, the defense plays great. Um, I mean, unless you're going to do the tush push 500 times, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of trouble. You're talking about one of the best defenses in football. You're talking
100%.
about, a front five and six. You're talking about two really good linebackers, and you're talking about a secondary that's just nasty. All the defensive backs are good. They have defensive backs on the bench that have better stats than some of the starters for other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then being kings of the takeaway is one of the biggest things that you can do on a football field as far as defense goes. The Bears are top in the top what five in every takeaway category in the NFL, and that's not going to be good for the Eagles if they can't hold on to the football, especially in that cold weather where it feels like a rock.
Yep, yep, yep. Let me actually take a look real quick to see what the Bears ranking are. I don't see, I mean, it's interesting. I'm looking at the rush yards per game. The ranking last? It's interesting. Yards per game? I don't think this is correct. Maybe it might be. They're actually in the bottom. Niners too. Uh, Overall defense, I'm just looking for, let's see, scoring. Okay, so Rams are number one. Bears are not. Let me see. So let me just do this again. Chicago Bears defensive ranking. Okay, let's take a look. So the Bears have shown impressive. Those are stats. I'm looking for rankings. It's kind of interesting. I don't think they're just showing. Let me just do NFL defensive rankings so that we can see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The Bears are somehow 27th, but then they've been playing really good. Let's check defense points allowed. There we go. Okay, sorry. So
There you
2025.
go.
Okay, actually, let me share my screen real quick so everyone take a look at this so we can talk about this. So this is my first screen share on the show. I haven't done this before, so now I got this kind of
Nope,
capability
first
I need.
time.
Here we go. Okay, everyone see my screen?
Uh, Double click to enter the full screen mode. Yep, there we go. It's there.
All right, we are now in my favorite category. This is the team stat defense. And what, let me see. So pass yards, so everyone can see, like, obviously, passing defense, touchdowns allowed. I'm trying to see though. Is this passing? This is defense, right?
That's passing.
Yeah, but this is pass. No, this is, what are they doing? Let's see, is it yards? No, I don't know how they're sorting this. I'm trying to find, let's see, points. I'm learning something on this show, folks, guys. Let me see. So touchdowns, Titans number one. Pass yards, well, first down percentage, attempts, completions, sacks. Titans have 45 sacks. That's crazy. But this looks like an offensive looking. This looks like an offensive defensive. Let's go defense again. So what are they? How are the 49ers ranked number one? Oh, this is alphabetical. Oh, this has nothing to do with the ranking. Okay, so that's so let's go team stats. There we go. But it's still well, let's check scoring. Let's check defense. So I want to see which team. So the Broncos are leading the league in scoring defense. Chiefs are somehow up there too. Where the Bears at? Bottom. Wow. Which is interesting because let's check INTs. There we go. So let's go the other way. There we go. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Sorry. Thanks everyone for working with me
All
on
right. Yeah.
that. There we go. Yeah, to my man's point, we speak facts on this show. The Bears are leading the league in takeaways and really in interceptions. So I was trying to figure out what stat that was kind of because I did remember reading that and watching on NFL Good Morning Football. I was like, well, what is it overall takeaways? No, it's interceptions. So yeah, the heading into week, I believe we're in week 16, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. That's not week 16. Maybe it's week 14, 13. I don't know. Week 13, maybe. The Bears are basically leading the league in interceptions and takeaways. So basically, that's kind of to my man's point. Those defensive backs are no joke. Those
Yeah.
linebackers are no joke. That pass rush with Montoya Sweat and them boys is no joke.
It's no joke.
So, I mean, I really think now the real question mark is the Dallas Cowboys are a divisional opponent. They know the Eagles in and out, and they basically knew the game plan, offensively speaking, right?
Yep.
My question is, do the Bears have that same level? You know what I mean? Can the Bears do what the Cowboys did on
I think they
offense?
can. I think they can. I think the Bears defense is better than the Cowboys defense. I'm just being honest.
I mean, they should be.
Yeah.
The Bears defense. I'm not about the defense. I'm not about their offense. I'm
Oh, the
saying,
Bears offense. I think the Bears offense is better than the Cowboys offense
hmm, interesting.
right now.
Really? What makes you say that?
Execution.
Okay.
The Bears are executing on offense right now. Caleb still got some weird errant throws, and then sometimes he does make a mistake with the football, but they come right back and they get those points back. Like even in the last game that we just saw, Caleb made the dumbest mistake in the world. But we're talking about TJ Watt here. We're not talking about any guy that's just back there. TJ Watt was able to get him in a hard spot and didn't happen again after that either.
Let's check scoring offenses. I'm curious. Let's see who's leading the league in probably the Rams. The Colts. Okay. Colts are leading the league in you're right. The Bears. Oh, no, you're wrong. Cowboys 37 touchdowns total. The Bears are 31. Not too far off, right? But still. The
Yeah,
Cowboys are
they had his
top.
trouble at the beginning of the season with scoring. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's another thing to consider. I mean, how they've looked recently. The Niners probably dead
yeah,
last.
that's why they lost so many games at first. It
Yeah.
was only three, but all three of those games they lost, except for the Lions. Well, even the Lions game, the Bears had a problem executing, and that was all within the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, 100%.
Since week five, I mean, I don't know if you can run it from week five, but since week five, I think the Bears have been, not perfect, but they've been a whole lot better than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I wonder if we can look at next gen stats. Let's see what we got. So next gen stats. Oh, fastest ball carriers. No, let's take a look at this is offense. I'm looking for if they have anything else. I'm looking for improbable completions, longest tackles, fastest sacks. That's interesting. This is interesting. They have like these new kind of next gen stats you can kind of just take a look at and just sort it based on like, these kind of ambiguous, kind of arbitrary categories. Longest tackles.
Not the same
Look at
stats
this.
that
Jaquan
everybody else is
Brisker of
looking
the
at.
Bears had a 95-yard tackle. Oh, that means he ran across the field 95 yards to make the tackle. That's what I think that means. It's probably on special teams. You know, maybe it was like on a kickoff. Oh no, it was a pass play. So Goff he passed it to Jameson Williams for 64 yards, and then Brisker and Montez Sweat basically came at him, or basically basically tackle him at the 12, but it was a he had to cover 95 yards. So interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're not I'm trying to see longest plays. Let's see receiving. Yeah, so receiving, yeah, return touchdown. Who has like a receiving touchdown? Rushing touchdown. Yeah, there's nothing else. I can't really find a receiving. That's fine. Improbable completions. Let's see this. This is fun. Sorry, guys. I'm having fun. Dak Prescott to Jalen Tolbert, 34-yard it was improbable. And then Brock to Jake Tonjes. Oh yeah, that one. That one was the what do you call to win the game in week one before he went out with the injury. Brock to Jake Tonjes. Ice cold blood. We talked about it on the show. Caleb Williams on here? Nope. Well, bro, I'll take your word for it. Let's just see kind of, what we got. I'm picking the Bears to win this game against Philadelphia. I'm picking them to win. And because of this guy right here, by the way, we was talking about those DBs, Kevin Byard,
Dude's great.
Nashawn Wright, Tremaine Edmonds.
I mean, look at their numbers.
I
Their
mean,
numbers
yeah.
are really good,
I
man.
mean, look at this. So 5 picks, 5 picks, 4 picks. I mean, three of them have more than four picks or more, and then you have Jaquan Brisker, who can just hit. I mean, if we let's take a look at tackles. So Edwards, wow, Jermaine Edmonds having a freaking phenomenal year. He's a linebacker too. I mean, 89 tackles. I mean, 4 picks. He has a sack. I mean, that's incredible. Kevin Byard has 60 tackles almost with 4 picks. This man's a beast, Kevin Byard. And then Jaquan Brisker. Take a look at Jaquan Brisker right now. Yeah, I mean the Bears defense is really what I'm picking. That's why I'm picking them to win this game. But really, it's because I think the Bears defense is much more capable than the Eagles offense. The Eagles offense has not looked anywhere near shape or form to like a Super Bowl level offense up to this point in the season.
No, they haven't.
So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And yeah, I mean this defense is just. And if I go, let me just check. If I go back to the Bears, if I can check their offense. Let's check their receiving. Well, they got passing yards, passing touchdowns. Receiving yards, Roma Dunze, of course.
And even he's had a couple of weeks where like he just couldn't catch the football.
See, the interesting thing is that when you look at these numbers, I mean, yeah, it proves your point. Like, yeah, like 653 yards so far. I mean, we don't have anyone kind of, he's on the precipice of over 1,000 yards, right? And then DJ Moore
Yeah,
has over 500, but then everyone else is kind of like, yeah. But I feel like, this is really good because if you look at the number of touchdowns too, let's go back actually and check that. Well, you can just actually sort from here.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I
you have
mean,
six.
you can see it.
Yeah,
You can
six,
see
three,
what's
and
going on
three
there.
is roughly what is that? That's like 12 touchdowns amongst three players. I
Yep.
would say the Bears have a little bit more balance, but then the thing is, the Cowboys have that guy number three, George Pickens,
Yeah,
and
Pickens
he and
is
he's a
nasty.
beast. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's nasty. It's a
let's take a
play,
look real
man.
quick on their stats before we wrap up this episode. Yeah, you see, I mean, almost 3,000 yards already. Let's take a look at the receiving touchdowns,
Do
receiving
they
yards.
have the comparison one?
I don't know if they have that. Yeah, they have. You can do the one-on-one, but you can't do like the team on team. So like the
Show
George
if you
Pickens.
can show me
Mhm.
George Pickens versus Odunze, and then show me Caleb Williams versus Dak
Oh
Prescott.
yeah, I can probably do that. Let's do that. So, but before I do that, let me just show everyone. George Pickens he's over already 1,054 yards. He must be like leading. He's like a top three in receiving stats in the year so far for all receivers. 8 touchdowns. Then you got two for CD, but he has 632 yards. And then you got seven for Ferguson. So like amongst these three players, right, you basically have 17 touchdowns and you have roughly 2,000, over 2,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
And then Kevontae Turpin, the punt return, specialist. I mean, so let's take a look at. But I would say the Eagles, it's not the Eagles. The Bears have a little more balance because it's pretty concentrated amongst these guys. So, but Pickens is a nasty motherfucker. You can't stop that guy. So let's go look at let's do Caleb Williams versus Dak Prescott. Fantasy Pros. Take a look at that. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Um, yeah, I mean, Dak is just on it. He's just on one right now. I mean, 23
So what
picks,
do we got here? We
20 touch.
got
Yeah, you can take a look, but
number 5 in fantasy points versus number 8 in fantasy points.
yeah, it's pretty neck and neck, honestly, for fantasy
Yeah.
side. I'm just looking at like the passing stats. Like,
So
Dak,
he's got 38 more attempts, but he's got 63 more completions. His completion percentage is higher. He's got 400 more yards.
yep,
And their yards per attempt is about the same. And so he got 23 touchdowns to 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions to 4 though. So um 17 sacks apiece.
yeah. I mean,
Caleb's got a
this
lot
is a
more
bit,
rushing attempts and a lot more rushing yards.
yeah, a lot more rushing. Well, rushing yards, yeah, but I mean, scoring is really what I care about. But
Yeah,
then
he's only
these can
got
be game-breaking plays, to your point. So I mean,
yeah.
and like obviously yards per attempt, probably a QB design draw, but then obviously these numbers are kind of the most telling. 23 and 7, very high TD to INT ratio, very low rather. It's high actually from the TD INT. It's a little bit kind of like he's 3 to 1. This one's more like almost 3.5 to 4 to 1. So I mean, Dak is basically playing really well
Yeah,
this
Dak's
year.
playing at the top of his abilities right
He
now.
is. I mean, he is literally top five, in stats for fantasy. So I mean, now let's check George Pickens versus Rome Odunze because that
Yeah, so
that's
you
one
got the
of
number 8 quarterback versus number 3 quarterback.
yeah. Let's
So,
go
I-
take.
so I feel like this is going to be a game where like the defense needs to play stellar on both sides. So whose ever defense wins this game is going to be the game winners. I don't think it's going to be just the outstanding offenses because they both look like they got firepower.
Let's take a look at Rome Odunze, and let's take a look at the
I
guy.
I know
Oh,
Pickens is going to blow him out of the water because Pickens is like 80% of that offense.
yeah. Let's take a look. I mean, it's just look like receptions, targets, yards, and we already saw the touchdowns. I mean, yeah. I mean, like this is actually just in general, like kind of like who would you pick on the
Yeah,
fantasy matchup side, but like.
number 2 versus number 14. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's George Pickens is on one this year. Rome Odunze is gonna have a great career. I mean, he's not having a bad season by any
well,
stretch,
that's
but
where I have the problem at. You see what
hmm
I'm see where my issue is? Targets versus receptions.
hmm Oh yeah,
Romo
that's
Dunze has either missed or dropped
half.
as many passes as he caught this
Yeah,
season.
literally half. It's yeah, that's not good. So
How does it say? Does it say how many drops he has?
I mean, it just says right here, targets for 84, 42.
Well, I mean,
It could have
they say
been.
targets, but what about the drops?
Let me take a look. So you can't look at it here. So let's do Rome Odunze drops through week 13. Yeah, there's a whole article for it. They have 17 drops. So between Adunze, DJ, Olamide, so Zachary, Zacchaeus, there's 17 drops, and that's the fifth most in the NFL.
Okay.
So I mean that's you know
So
that's
basically, they
why
count a drop as an undefended pass.
well and that's why I think the Cowboys offense is a little bit better, but we're not comparing both of them because they're not going to play. Well, you guys beat them badly, so I mean that's one thing. But I'm just saying since we're comparing, who you guys are, the opponent you're playing, I think the Eagles should be easy work, right? It should be easy work. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I think kind of to the point,
the
kind of wrap
Eagles
it
and
up.
I don't think the Eagles are the way that the Cowboys are playing right now. Obviously, the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. The Eagles aren't playing bad, and I don't think the Eagles get their crack back in Chicago. I don't.
Yeah, well, the Eagles, I think they go 8-4. I mean, they could very well. I mean, they're not gonna lose the NFC East if they lose this week. But like the Cowboys, I mean, they do have a tough strength of schedule heading down the stretch. But if they somehow find a way to win some of these games, and the Eagles keep slipping. Like if they lose today and I don't know who they play next after this week.
I'm
They
not
play the
sure,
Chargers.
honestly.
Yeah. I
Yeah, the
mean,
Chargers. That's
yeah,
bad
they
for
could
them
lose that
too.
game at LA. They'll probably beat the Raiders when they come to town, but then they play the Commanders. Divisional opponents are always tough. Then they have to go play the Bills at Buffalo. And then the Commanders come back again. So they'll probably still squeak it out with the division because Dallas just started off so slow this year. But still, I mean, it could be anything it's anyone's game in the playoffs. I mean, the Eagles' offensive struggles have definitely been glaring up to this point. And I really think the Cowboys or the Bears and yeah, actually no, the Cowboys might have a chance of kind of sneaking in for playoffs if they can get hot down the stretch. But if I look at the Cowboys schedule, because it's a little tougher. I mean, they have to play the Chiefs. They might win this game, which I'm predicting. They have to go play Lions. They could win or lose that game. Vikings on Sunday night on the 14th. They come to town, so they got a nice little 10-day stretch. They could win that game. The Chargers, they could win or lose that game, and then they have two divisional opponents, the Commanders and the Giants. Win or lose, but they could probably win both those games. So there's a very good chance the Cowboys, right now at 5 wins, could finish the season with potentially 10 wins. Potentially. Now they have a lot of ifs have to happen, but really it's just we need to see Dak and the offense kind of click on all cylinders down the stretch. So, anyways, with that said, I think that's kind of so I think that should kind of wrap up for this kind of preview for Thanksgiving. And kind of looking down the season for the Niners. I mean, like we talked about to start off, yeah, I'm picking the Niners to win tonight. Um,
How did you feel about Shador last night?
let's take a look because we got to play Shador next week.
Yeah, I had to ask.
Yes, sir. I mean, he played the Raiders, right? And so that was a big. Let's take a look real quick. The stats. Let me share again real quick, guys. Let's take a look at these stats. We speak these facts on this show. We speak these facts. We look at stats. So, interestingly enough, the Raiders dominate on time of possession, right? And
Yep.
first downs. But Shador squeaked out the passing. Well, this passer is actually the what do you call it? 10 more minutes. Okay. Passing yards, the Raiders basically had the edge. But then Shador basically, if we take a look at the box score real quick, because I actually didn't watch the game. So yeah, Gino, 285, 30 of 44, 99.26 K QBR. Shador, 11 of 20. I mean, the completion percentage isn't good. That's one thing. He has to get
No,
better
it's
in that
not.
area. But I mean, they found a way to win. So I mean, obviously not against a good opponent. But I mean, let's see if Shador can kind of figure it out. If I look at his stats on the year, yeah, see, it's kind of bad. 41.7 completion percentage. That's not good. So Shador, my guy, you got to get it going. Rushing yards, 15 yards. I mean, yeah, we gotta see what he can do. So, I mean, we've seen, I mean, kind of little snippets of it, but I mean, he's obviously his first kind of he's literally this is his second game in the NFL. So obviously they play the Niners next week. I think Niners should be able to win. And let's see advanced stats, official grade for Shador's start. Yeah. So total EPA estimate points as minus negative 4.5. He had a success rate of 23.8%. It's not good. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, bro. You can't really do much with it.
No, you can't.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
can't.
he's got to play better.
I mean, from what the game I saw, um, they should have had probably 38 points last
Yeah.
night.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know what Jerry Judy was doing on that long. That was a great ball that was thrown. That was a good placement. Jerry Judy had nothing but daylight. Like I don't know what he was looking for because if he just kept running, he probably scores or gets really close to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what was going on there. I really don't. Um, I think that he's the first quarterback for the Cleveland Browns to win in their opening start since 1995.
Yeah. He
It's
is.
been
Yeah. No, he
it's been
is.
30
And,
years.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like maybe the stats sheet doesn't reflect it, but like if he's kind of like having the X factor and willing his team to win, then that's all that really matters, right?
I
But
mean, yeah, because I mean, in a lot of ways, a lot of games, Baker's like that too.
yeah, but
You know,
Baker, you're talking about Baker started not now, right? When Baker started with the Browns.
no, no, no. When Baker was with the Browns, it was I hate to say it, but it was a mess when Baker was with the Browns. Like he wasn't really that good there, and I don't think it has anything to do with him. I think it's the Browns culture. There was a couple of play calls there that I didn't necessarily appreciate, and I think you can tell just from watching the game, like especially if you watch other teams. But I think you can tell just from watching the game that Kevin Stefanski just wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like they say he's a great coach, but you have had what, five quarterbacks that you have not been able to do anything with? Six if you include Jameis Winston.
I
You haven't been
mean,
able to do anything with these guys. So it's kind of hard for me to sit back and be like, oh yeah, Stefanski's this great genius of a coach. When I mean, what's he doing with his players? What is he doing with these guys? Like, I don't think Dylan Gabriel's bad. I don't. I don't think he's
no.
great. I don't think he's. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's a starter in the NFL. Do I think that Shador is a starter in the NFL? Yeah, I think he's getting there. Rookie wins his first start. Looks decent in a game that he came into. It in my opinion didn't lose that last game that he came into, even though he only came in at halftime. Um, I think if you were going to start him, you give him a full training camp, and then you give him you give him all the tools to succeed because they didn't really do that this year. You got to remember his he's had 1 week of throwing to the first team offense, and he was able to find guys that either got underutilized like Judy. Let's just face the facts here. The entire offense in Cleveland was being underutilized. They put up some decent numbers last night, and the defense played better than I've seen them play in years.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's TBD. Obviously, we'll see Shador when he plays the Niners next. That'll be a fun game. I'm
I don't
looking
think he'll
forward.
win that one, but I think he'll play good.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to play better. That's number one. Niners secondary can be suspect. They can be caught. A lot of rookies on the secondary. But I fully expect the Niners, Lenore, Hyena, and all of them to eat. To eat that young blood, you know? So with
Yeah,
that
he's
said,
young, man. He's
yeah,
young, and
he's young, and I mean, like, yeah. To your point, I mean, he's young. I mean, like, there'll be opportunities for him to get better. So with that said, I think that wraps it up. So yeah, pretty much looking ahead to kind of recap what we just covered. Niners, we're well picking Niners to win today. We're picking the Cowboys to eke it out over the Chiefs. We are
oh
picking the
yeah,
Lions to win over the Packers at home. We don't
yep.
care about the Ravens or Bengals, and we are picking the Bears to upset the defending Super Bowl champions to round out this week of NFL football before NFL Sunday. And we also have the Niners winning on Sunday against Shedeur Sanders and the Browns, and Niners squeaking into the playoffs. And maybe the Bears will win the NFC North, and we'll see what happens in
I
December.
just feel like that's the direction that we're going in
That's
right
the direction
now.
we're going right now. All right. Any final thoughts before we close out this week's episode?
No, just you guys stay safe. Have a happy
Oh,
holidays.
wait, nope. One more thing. Brandon Aiyuk. I did a kind of quick
Oh
summary. I
yeah,
said,
we
good
did.
riddance. My man, what do you think about this whole situation?
I'm actually kind of mad about the situation as you guys can go back on some of the previous episodes.
Like we talked about last
We
year. Last
we,
year.
we talked
It's
about this
it's
last
on
year.
record. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
We talked about this last year, and I gave them two options. I said you cannot keep Brandon Aiyuk and Debo Samuel.
100%.
And we all agreed that Debo Samuel was going to want a bigger contract and he
Yep.
was older.
Yep.
And we said that, okay, Aiyuk is the way to go. And immediately after getting the contract, Aiyuk gets injured and he's been out since. He hasn't
100%.
touched a football. Like, here's the thing about this guy. He hasn't touched a football field. He hasn't been at the training facilities. He hasn't been in any of the camps. He hasn't been to the team facility. He hasn't been to any games. He does not want to be a San Francisco 49er even after they gave him the contract. And unfortunately, Debo's producing pretty good this year in another place.
Debo is actually an afterthought, but he
You
does look
know?
better. But I think that's why Ayuk got salty because Ayuk wanted to go there because Jay Daniels is his boy. But to your
Yeah.
point, I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's just not. It's just a bad look, man.
It's almost like he's tanking the team by not playing in it. Like, why sign the contract
Yeah,
if
why
you if
sign?
you had no
That's where
idea?
my mind is at. Like, why would you sign that contract if you are not gonna? You know, what I mean, and again, like Shannon Sharp and Chad talked about it, on their podcast, Nightcap. I mean, Chad's all like, he said, I walked through all the scenarios in my mind of why you would not take the money. And like, he's like, there's no reason. Otherwise, maybe you're just so hurt that you just said, hey, y'all, you want me to show you how bad I want to be out of here? Take the money back, void the contract. I'm not going to file a grievance to the NFLPA. And Shannon said the right thing. That is the stupidest business move any NFL player could ever make because you're making $26 million a year. You're saying no to that now, but you're not going to make that once you hang up those cleats anywhere,
Exactly.
unless you've invested in something which is going to hit, which is the chip probably of that is 0.0001% after you retire. So with that said, I think it's Brian Aiyuk, good riddance. You're a diva. You admitted that that you drug out the contract negotiations. Now you're saying that you don't want to be here. I don't know why you're in your feelings. I don't know why you're not rehabbing. I don't know why you're not being a consummate teammate. You've held the team hostage for the money. They pay you the money. Now you're in your feelings for whatever reason. You are the type of player who no one would want to play with anywhere. And by the way, you just fumbled the biggest bag of your career. Anywhere you go, no one is going to pay you $30 million a year.
No, not if you didn't play all season, not if you haven't been rehabbing. And I'm not saying that he hasn't worked out or anything like that. I'm saying what the official reports come back from the San Francisco 49ers and his camp hasn't refuted any of them. And that's he has not been involved with the San Francisco 49ers.
He is not, and he is out, and we are out. and I'm excited for what's next for the Niners. So thank you all for tuning in. Once again, follow my man Soul Reaper 24. It's all follow us on DDOG Podcast. We will be back after Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Have a great time with your families,
Happy
and
Thanksgiving.
we will be talking to y'all soon.